This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
For a limited time, ElderGeek.com fans can enjoy a 5% discount on purchases at Gamersgate using promo code Elder-Geek.com. The space shooter genre that was alive and well from the 1990s has been missing almost entirely from this generation's lineup of games. Despite gamers' cries for more Wing Commander and X-Wing titles, it's been harder and harder to scratch that space shooter itch. Enter Strike Suit Zero, the space combat simulator by Born Ready Games. Released on January 23, 2013, Strike Suit Zero brings space combat back in a big way. Set in the distant future, humanity has mastered interstellar space travel and space combat. As humans are colonized over dozens of planets, some have grown tired of the oppressive rule of Earth and they desire independence. As an alien technology is discovered on a newly colonized world, humanity becomes inflamed in a civil war spanning across galaxies. You play as a starfighter pilot for Earth as you undergo the game's 13 missions. Each mission requires you to pilot one of the 4 different types of craft available to the player: the interceptor, the fighter, the bomber, and of course, the creme de la creme, the prototype strike suit. Once you clear the mission, you can replay it again to try and unlock some of the ship's upgrades, or best your previous scores. The gameplay in Strike Suit is massive, fantastic, addictive, challenging, rewarding, and probably a dozen other adjectives we'd love to slip in here. The scope of the playable space is like nothing we've ever seen in a space shooter before, and the amount of action going on around the player at almost any given time is unspeakably amazing. The galactic civil war comes to life around you, and you play a small but pivotal role. You will feel dwarfed by the space stations as you strafe their surfaces and dodge their defensive tower fire. You'll become overwhelmed by the swarms of enemy fighters that move and hunt in squadrons. You will feel relieved as you narrowly dodge the beam cannons being fired from one massive cruiser to another. It is huge. Playing Strike Suit takes a small learning curve, but once you get the feel for the ships, you'll be controlling them like you were born in them. Most ships fly similarly to Ace combat craft, but of course, all concern for gravity and what is right side up is thrown completely out the airlock. The Strike Suit itself controls half the time like a standard fighter, and the other half of the time like a weekend-ruining war machine Angel of Death with massive forward-firing cannons and the ability to lock onto multiple targets at once and unleashing a hellstorm of destructive missiles. Visually, Strike Suit Zero is gorgeous. The space backgrounds will take a moment of your time as you mentally suck them in, and the starcrafts themselves, from the small fighters to the large carriers to the giant stations, all feel organically obtainable, but appropriately science fiction-y as well. The soundtrack by Paul Ruskay, who is noted for his work with Homeworld, has a Battlestar Galactica undertone to it. It is fantastic and only adds to the immersion of the entire experience.
You are required to undergo a flight assessment before you can return to duty. Flight Team Leader Reynolds will take you through your evaluation.
We only have 2 problems with Strike Suit Zero. First, there is no way to have your camera turn around to see if someone is on your tail. This would prove immensely useful, especially during the massive space battles. And secondly, we really wish there was a cockpit overlay when in first-person mode, or at the very least, an option to turn one on. It would add to the immersion. But that's it! We adore Strike Suit Zero, and for its bargain price, it's a game that no science fiction fan should pass up. As a fair warning, Strike Suit Zero is a brutally hard experience. Each victory will feel earned. So if you're up for the challenge, then give Strike Suit Zero a go, but the game is so large, we would give anything to be able to play it cooperatively with a squadron of our friends. Here's hoping for a sequel.